Hey guys, we have covered a lot of code scanners and DIY tools on this channel over the years, and boy do we have a winner for you today.
This is the TopScan Pro, and there's also a TopScan version. We'll get into the differences shortly. And you might think, well, gosh guys, you seem to have done a few of these reviews on diagnostic tools in the past. Why are you doing another one? Well, my friend, since you asked, there is a very good reason. We are very impressed by this product, and I will go so far as to say, you do not need to have a check engine light on to own one of these. We love it so much, we're gonna recommend that you keep it as part of your regular toolbox or in your glove box. And we are going to, in this video, not just explain to you all the diagnostic capabilities, but some of the additional features that this thing can do that make it way more valuable than just a code reader. All that's coming up.
Yeah, man, this one caught our attention because it's even good enough for the pros, guys. So before we get into this box, let's get into what OBD2 is and what an OBD2 code reader can do for you. Okay guys, OBD is an acronym for your onboard diagnostic system that monitors a car's computer system. And what it does is it reports trouble codes. Those trouble codes are based on a standard, which is the OBD2 standard, which has been into place since 1996 for the automotive side and 97 for the diesel side. Now, what the car code reader does itself, it's a vehicle diagnostic tool that reads out fault codes in your car or your truck. And that fault code is basically a short-handed description of a potential issue that your car or truck might be having, and that would be indicated by your check engine light.
So, if you go with the TopScan Pro, which is this one, this is what you're gonna get. Let's take a look inside. All right, inside the box, you're gonna get a couple things. That's really all you need. First is their little get started guide, and one of the really cool things that I noticed right away is they've got various support options listed here, including telephone support. They still offer that, which is pretty great. And of course the guide tells you how to get started. There's also lots of great help and tutorials in the app itself that you can find for assistance as needed. And then of course you got the dongle, and that's it. Those are the two things in the box. So a quick look at the dongle before I plug it in, because once it's plugged in under the dash, you won't be able to see these lights. But this is a pretty solid, pretty sturdy construction. It feels nice. It doesn't feel cheap, and I like that. On the dongle itself, there are 3 indicator lights. The first is connectivity to the vehicle. That shows you that your connection between the dongle and the vehicle are good. The middle light here is power, showing you that the dongle has power. And the Bluetooth connection light is over here on the right side, indicating whether or not you have a successful connection from your mobile device. That is a USB-C port, by the way. It might just be for diagnostic purposes from the factory, but at any rate, if you're interested in that, there is a USB-C port there.
Okay guys, now that we know what's in the box and a little bit more about the scanner itself, what does it work on and what do you need to do to start using this thing?
On the iOS App Store, the app is called Top Guru. Freaking love that. On the Android store, it's called TopScan Pro. So those are the apps you want to search for. All right, so I'm going to walk you through the connection process here, just for those of you that need to see it. But they're going to tell you straight out, step 1 is start the vehicle. And then step 2 is plug the TopScan Pro into your vehicle's OBD2 port. And that port is typically somewhere, it's not always, but typically somewhere near the driver's side, underneath the dash. It's gonna look like a male version of that. So this is really helpful if you're a first timer or it's just a car that you're not familiar with and you need some help trying to find where that actual OBD port is. And you can see here, I backed up a screen. It asks for your make and model to assist you in finding that. And that's in the repair information section, which is in the bottom part of my app on Android. You also have the option while we're here to message support, which again, I freaking love this. and they have some frequently asked questions in video form if you need help in using the product. They've done a really good job with this. All right, now it beeped at me, not sure if you heard that, but it beeped at me once I got it plugged in. I'm gonna confirm. I'm gonna give it location access, and I'm gonna let it find nearby devices. It found mine. It's gonna connect. Now it's asking to pair over Bluetooth. I'm on Android, by the way, so this is what the process looks like on an Android phone. It's gonna ask me to add my vehicle information and activate. And I'm gonna do that here. All right, and I get a message that it's been successfully activated, and then there's an app update. It's telling me I don't have a choice here, so I'll go ahead and update that. All right, while my code reader is downloading an update, I'm gonna go ahead and address a question that we do get asked from time to time when we do reviews on code reader products, and that is there a fee associated with this particular one, like a monthly fee or a yearly fee? And the answer is no and yes. So when you buy the product, you get a year, and that's pretty great, all things considered. If you choose to use it after that year, you do pay a fee for it, but it's pretty nominal, and honestly, I feel like at that point, if I've gotten a year's worth of use out of it for something that's $100 or less if you get the light version, it's pretty great. So I don't mind the fee, and keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to pay that fee until you're ready to use the service the next time you need it. All right, guys, apologize for the glare here. I'm doing my best to give you an angle that reduces the glare. I'm gonna go into, I'm already connected to it, and I'm running the Pro version. You can see that here. I can go into Diagnostics, which is what a lot of you are probably going to be drawn to, and I can do that here. Oh, I've got to load my vehicle first. Okay, this is actually a good thing because it's going to be, the codes that we're going to get are not going to be generic. They're going to be a little bit more manufacturer specific, which is fantastic. And as you can see here while I'm talking, it's taking us through a little quick tutorial on what the various icons mean and what they do. So, shows that I'm connected. I can tap on it to disconnect, but I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to reconnect. It's going to give me a status. All right, we're good. I do like that audible indicator. Okay, so I'm gonna, now you can scroll through the list here. I have a Toyota, as you may have seen in the background. Rather than just finger scrolling all the way to the bottom, I'm gonna just type in, or try to type in Toyota. There it is, and then I'm gonna download, so you get the download. It shows me it's just under 100 megabytes. No Wi-Fi. I'm gonna go ahead and download it anyway, but for each manufacturer, you have to download their codes. And again, that is a good thing because you don't want just the generic code. You want as specific of information on your problem as you can get. So here we go, we're downloaded. I'm gonna tap on Toyota. It's gonna take me through a little bit more of a tutorial. And we're gonna just get through that. Now, I can do an automatic diagnostic or a manual diagnostic. And I would suspect if I know the particular problem or a type of problem that I'm going for, I would go manual, but I'm gonna go automatic. And I'm not gonna key in my VIN. I'm gonna tell it to read my VIN, which it can do over the OBD. So I'm gonna let it do that. It's got it. All right, I'm gonna confirm. All right, knows that it's an FJ Cruiser, it knows the engine, it knows the model year, knows that I'm in the United States. Now, I can go into some hot functions here. I can do an auto scan. Let's take a look at the hot functions. Okay, this is where a lot of you that are gonna use it for more than just your basic code reader are really, really gonna get your money's worth out of this. We've got oil reset, we've got throttle adaptation, we've got ABS bleeding, airbag resets, TPMS, that's your tire pressure management system, Windows calibration, right? So this thing is, for a small tool, under $100. It's really feature packed. A lot of the mechanic tools that a lot of the pro mechanics have to buy are gonna cost 10 times this. So it's not a bad little tool to keep at home or in your shop, right? I'm gonna do an auto scan, and I need to pick from either specifics like the airbag or the engine or the body, or I can just literally skip past that and do a full level, high level scan and just tell it, and it'll scan every one of those sections. And I'm gonna just let it do that for the sake of our video here, see how long it takes. This is interesting. I'm seeing some faults, and I do not have any lights or check engine information on my vehicle. So we'll see where this goes. We're halfway done. All right, let's see. Once it's done, and it's done now, you can go in and look at the codes. So there was a startability malfunction. That actually did happen several times. Let's look at the info. I can read the logs here and see when the most recent time happened. And interestingly enough, I'll tell you guys the story behind this. So I had a battery replaced, and these keys in this vehicle, and this is common for a lot of new vehicles, have a chip in them. And it takes a minute when you put that key in, anytime that you disconnect the vehicle battery and you replace it, the keys have to resync. And that happened to me, and I wasn't patient. I literally jammed the key in and cranked it, and it started and died. And the reason it did that is because I was supposed to put the key in, turn it on, and wait like maybe a half a second for it to sync before I tried to crank on it. And so this is a legitimate thing. Now, I can do a reset here, right? I can clear these. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that in my case because I know this problem has been addressed. So, all right, it's telling me I have to make sure the ignition is on and the engine is off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You guys are gonna see me do it. All right, and the ignition is on, and I'm gonna say yes. All right, that cleared the trouble codes. So that is a good working test that we didn't even expect to have. Bonus time, everybody.
Okay, so once you've gotten your codes, what do you do with the results? That is totally up to you. If you're not able to perform the repair yourself, take it to a shop, and at least you'll know going in with confidence what the problem is up front. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, then you can look up the repair yourself using the TopScan library, which is really good and in-depth, and they can assist you through the process.
They also give you access to a pretty great maintenance and repair library. One of the most common arguments that I've heard from some of you guys, as a matter of fact, some of the fans and followers of our channel is, yeah, these things will basically just tell you a code from an engine or a check engine, but they won't really tell you the details or how to fix it. And that may be true for some of the other ones that we've tested in the past, but not this thing. This is a really great full-featured product in the sense that they also give you access to that repair library so you can go look up your problem yourself. And Jay and I always preach and teach education is the key, right? Even if you can't fix it yourself, you have a better understanding of what the problem is before you get there. And if you followed our podcast at all, you should, you'll know that not every mechanic out there is honest or good at what they do, unfortunately. So it's just good to have that peace of mind and knowledge. One of the things I'll get into here in just a minute, but while I have the maintenance screen up, just wanted to show you guys. This is a view of all of the various maintenance features that this particular product will help you manage. And this is a bi-directional product. We'll get into that in just a minute. Injectors might be a popular one that some of you want to deal with. Now it's going to remember my most recent vehicles, but you can do injector reading and reprogramming. And again, we'll get into the bi-directional thing here in just a second. Another cool feature, and Jay, you're gonna love this, technical service bulletins right down here under my finger. So you can put in your year, make, model, and symptoms if you know it. It's going to give you the ability to search through technical service bulletins. If you're not familiar with what those are, you really need to be listening to our podcast, which you can find that over at partscounterguru.com. We do talk from time to time about recalls and technical service bulletins, and Jay usually fields those, but it's there, guys, if you need it. Other cool features that I'll mention quickly in the repair information field. If you go to more, you've got the repair guide. We talked about that in the beginning. Your technical service bulletins previously mentioned. A warning light library. So you can go into this and it will tell you various warning lights and what they mean for those of you that are less familiar with the systems. It's going to give you, if we go into the TPMS, for example, it's going to give you information on what this is, whether it's safe to drive or not, what causes it, how to deal with it. And there are some FAQs in there. This is a nice feature. All right, so I mentioned earlier, this is a true bi-directional product. Not all the code readers out there are. That means it will let you get into some light programming. You can send commands back to the vehicle. So bi-directional meaning both ways, right? So think of a computer printer. Typically a computer printer, you send instructions to it, it prints those instructions. It may send you back a confirmation message, but that's about it, right? There's not really a two-way conversation happening. A bi-directional communications, simply put, is two ways. That means not only can you read the codes coming off of the vehicle, you can send commands back to do things beyond a reset, like we mentioned earlier in the maintenance section, the injector stuff, the sunroof stuff, the battery monitor, the tire pressure management, and so on. You guys get the idea, right? But that's a really, really cool feature, again, in something that's priced pretty low for a product that can do all this. We told you guys in the beginning this was the best one we found, and hopefully by now you've seen a lot of reasons why. It really is the best. And before I forget, the folks at TopDon were nice enough to give us a discount code to pass along to you guys. That code will work not just on the TopScan and the TopScan Pro, it will work on those, but it'll work on pretty much anything on the website, including the Moto version for the motorcycle code reader. Go to their website. You can go to topdon.com, or in the United States, it's topdon.us. Use the code PCG10. It's PCG and then the number 10, 10. Or you can go over to our website, which is partscounterguru.com, click on the show specials tab, and we've got all that laid out for you. And again, it will work on pretty much anything on TopDon's website, not just the code readers. And again, the code is PCG10. We do realize that for many of you watching this, the light version, which is around 60 bucks, is gonna do the job for you. And that's just great. For those of you interested in what the differences are in the Pro version, it's pretty awesome. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that there were some professional level features in this thing, and I wasn't kidding. So it will work with immobilizers. It's IMMO technology if your vehicle has that. You can do resets. It'll also do resets on things like tire pressure sensors, sunroof initialization. I mean, it's kind of crazy that you can get that much of a professional tool set out of this small device. You do need a smartphone or a tablet to pair with it. That kind of goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it nonetheless.
Hey, thanks for all that, Keith. Guys, look, pro tip here. If you're in the market for a used car, you might want to get one of these as well. Here's why. Because if you plug this into an OBD port of a used car, there could be hidden codes in that indicating some problems with some of the components on that vehicle. So save yourself some aggravation. Even if that check engine light is not showing on, you can still pull codes off if they are stored within that system. So keep that in mind. Pro tip, guys.
And as if all that weren't enough, and yet another group of reasons why we just love this thing is the repair library, which we mentioned a little bit earlier, will let you not only find the codes, but you go to the repair library, You take those codes, you take that problem, you go to the repair library, and you get help in how to actually perform the repair if it's something you want to take on. Having that tutorial, having that knowledge base that you can learn from is such a great thing. Also, for those of you required to do emissions testing, this is a great little tool to check that before you go through that horribly long line. I've done them. I remember what a complete life waste they are. Nobody wants to go back through them again. So with one of these, it's going to save you time. You're going to know before you go. This is a great gift if you're out of ideas and you have a DIYer in your family, or a car guy or a car lady, or anybody that's into tech and cars. This is a no-brainer. It's a solid win. There's also a key programming add-on that you can get, and it will let you program vehicle keys. There are 44 different manufacturers currently compatible with this thing. I don't know why I was able to hang on to that number, but I was. So if you're a locksmith, or you're somebody that just does a lot of key programming at a dealer is crazy expensive. This will get you access to do a lot of those popular makes and models without having to deal with dealerships. I'm just saying. For those of you that are motorcycle fans, and we know you guys are out there, TopDon also makes a moto version of this, specifically designed to read motorcycle codes. And guess what? That same discount code we gave you will work on that product also. You're welcome, guys. All right, guys, so if you've made it this far, first of all, thank you. And I mentioned in the beginning, I think we've probably mentioned several times in this video about the discount code and the link to use, and we'll put those in the description. If you are considering getting one, make sure that you use that code. It'll give you a nice break, or anything else on their website. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe if this has been helpful, and we'll see you on the next one. Are you still here? Why are you still here? This isn't a Marvel movie. There's nothing to see after the credits. Go fix your car.